Right, welcome back guys to another video, and I've got another Scooby here for you today, but this one is 2011 new age sort of Impreza. I can't remember the actual name for it. I know the predecessors were Hawkeyes, but this is a Japanese import, so it's a 2-litre turbo 4-wheel drive as opposed to the 2.5 as the UK cars. But yeah, I mean, have a look at this thing, man. It's beautiful. Seriously, it's a beautiful looking car. So what we'll do is I'll go for a little walk around the car, show you a couple of little bits and bobs that it's had done, and then we'll go for a little drive just to give you guys a feel of what it's all about. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Performance Lifestyles, for performance car reviews. We've got plenty of content already uploaded on our channel, and we've got plenty more to come. So click on the bell notification just so you know when we've uploaded something, and check us out on Instagram, performance_lifestyles, and on Facebook as well, Performance Lifestyles. If you'd like your car featured on our channel, drop us an email at pflifestyle@hotmail.com. I'll put the actual email in the description, and it'll be at the bottom of the screen here as well. So drop us an email. I'm sure we'll be able to work something out. Get your car on, the channel. We're still growing. We've got plenty of videos uploaded, so check out what we've got uploaded. And if it's something that you like, drop us an email. I'm sure we can work something out. So here it is, the 2011 JDM Saloon Impreza STI. I mean, look at this thing. I think it's absolutely bloody stunning. It's a beautiful looking car. It's a beautiful looking car. I wasn't a big fan of these cars in kind of like a standard sort of form, but with the actual splitter and the silver and the black accents, it actually goes quite well. The wheels aren't standard. I believe they're Volk Racing wheels. Not sure what exact model they are, but yeah, they are Volk Racing wheels. It's got like a gloss black splitter on the bottom of the bumper, all these vents on the side. All this has been painted gloss black just to match, and I think it sets the car off quite nicely. It's a beautiful looking car, and they come with the usual features like xenon lights, headlight washers, which is a JDM thing I believe, and you can see behind there on the grille, that's like an aftermarket horn, which PIAA I believe it is. I think a lot of Japanese import cars do actually have aftermarket horns and stuff fitted. Not sure why. It's probably just a JDM thing, and you get more brownie points for them in the UK, I think. So yeah, just look at this thing. It's stunning. It's a beautiful car. So, oh yeah, side skirt extensions. I think they set it off quite nicely. The black wheels, black extensions, rear spoiler spats, carbon fibre exhaust covers, titanium tips. I believe the exhaust system is standard because it is very quiet, just as a standard one should be. And the mud flaps, I think the Rally Armour STI mud flaps, they look good. They actually look good, very good. Carbon fibre here. Spoiler standard, I believe. I know some of the UK cars never had the spoiler on them, and I think they looked a bit pants, to be fair. I think these, with them being an Impreza, they need to still uphold that image that everybody's used to of an Impreza. And when they took the spoilers off them and stuff, and I don't think it actually looked very good, but this one's got the spoiler fitted, and with the rest of the styling, as I mentioned, it actually looks quite good. Looks very good, to be fair. Again, standard feature is the 4-pot brakes on the front. I'm not too sure if they're made by Brembo, but they look very similar to the Brembos, and 2-pots on the rear. They've got the STI decals on them, and the advantage of actually this being a JDM car is it is very clean. It is extremely clean, to be fair. There's a couple of little marks on it, but nothing untowards. Oh yeah, S1000 RR. So yeah, it's clean. It's got nothing untowards like a 10, 11-year-old car. So with it being the keyless entry, you've got this button on the actual handle here. So you push that, the car's started at the moment and the key's in my pocket, so it won't work, but you push that and it locks the car, folds the mirrors in. And I think the mirrors folding is a JDM thing. The UK cars didn't do that. And then to unlock it, you just put your hand behind the handlebar. and it just opens up. And like I mentioned before, I think it's a very good feature, especially if you've got your hands full or something, the keys are in your pocket, just quick time, just put your hand behind the handlebar and it unlocks itself. You don't have to faff around trying to look for your key, drop off your shopping, you know, break all them eggs and stuff. Perfect. It's got keyless entry, push button start, which is a very good feature if you're lazy, and I'm getting lazy in my old age. Folding mirrors, which very good feature again. It's needed on some streets, to be fair. And just generally, the interior is very similar. It is identical to a UK car. Now, these seats are the standard Impreza STI buckets, but they're electrically operated. The UK ones aren't electric seats, but these are. Again, I prefer personally the bucket seats, the Recaro bucket seats that these did come with as an optional extra. But these seats, they're still fine. They do the job perfectly fine. You know, they don't hold you in as much as in the Recaros, but again, you get to live with them, to be fair. You get to live with them. It's not a bad thing. And the other aftermarket things is these DEFI gauges. Got, what's that? Oil temperature here, water temperature and boost gauge. And then you got the recorder here, something over there, pivot sort of racing thing. The good old school pop-out sat-nav screens, carbon fibre cover here, and they've got STI embossed in quite a few places. I've mentioned in my other previous videos of, I think I've done a hatchback Impreza STI, that was a UK car, and they generally have STI in a few different places. So just in case you forget one morning that what car you're driving, you just look at a few things and think, oh yes, I'm in the Impreza STI today. And you know, it's on the steering wheel there, it's on the actual center console there, that lights up as well, I believe. It's on the actual dash, the clock's there. And then, so yeah, all in all, they're actually a very good car. Perfectly usable rear seats. Because they are a family car, it's a 5-seater as well, so just in case you didn't know that, it's I know some JDMs, they do be classed as a 4-seater, but this has got the 5 seat belts in the back, so it is a 5-seater. So the actual clocks on this car, it shows you, basically this is in kilometers an hour, so it won't do 260 as it's displayed on there, with it being a Japanese import. But they've got the actual SI drive here, so now this is in sports sharp mode, and the diff's been left in auto. Yeah, excuse the actual fuel thing. I need to actually go put fuel in it. I got the car with hardly anything in it, so and then to actually change the diff settings, you push it over. I don't know if you can read it from there, but it's auto to manual, and then the center diff, you can, you know, up and down. You can just push it to push the power backwards and forwards. So what you can do is, you might even be able to see it, is so the lines on the outer thing there. Now it's the actual diff's locked. Push it down, back to normal, and if you want to put it back to auto, leave it to auto, and the auto sign's lit up over there. Absolutely perfect. And then you switch, you turn this actual knob here, and you could turn it to sports sharp, and push it in for the intelligent mode, which it's in at the moment. And then so they're actually, you know, they've got a fair few decent sort of features to them, considering the actual age and the type and the nature of the car. And I think they're very, very well sort of made cars, very well made cars. Under the bonnet then, this is the heart of the car, the EJ20 2-litre turbo engine, turbochargers underneath that heat shield just there. And with these being a boxer engine, the flat 4, as opposed to the other style engines, I can't remember what they're called now, but yeah, they're flat 4 engines. And in general, they just look like a bit of a mess. The first time you look at when you think, oh bloody hell, they forgot to do things, they forgot to put a cover over the top. But no, this is just the way these Impreza STI engines are, and I think they look great. This one's got a few aftermarket additions, like this auxiliary belt cover. It's got a strut brakes here, which does affect the handling, and it does help, to be fair. I think it's a good little touch. And then an actual slam panel cover, aftermarket hose. But other than that, it's all fairly standard, obviously. Aftermarket battery tie down, oil cap. But in general, it's actually quite a standardish car. It's not been remapped to anything like that. It is a fairly standard sort of car. But I mean, just seriously, you can't tell me these things look bad. Well, this actual car looks bad, because I think it looks perfect. This is exactly how they need to look. And like I mentioned, they need to uphold that STI, Impreza STI image. And they need all these, you know, Asbo-ish kind of like styling looks. But I think they suit the car just, you know, down to the ground. These are, you know, coming off a rally bred sort of a background, so they need that look to them. And they do stand out like a sore thumb on the road, which is a good thing with these. You get the flying eye. So that is a good thing with these. They're perfect cars, perfect cars. So what we'll do is we'll go for a little drive. Yeah, it's just gonna be a quick one. I've not got the car for a very long time. So go for a quick little drive, just to give you guys a feel of what it actually drives like. And I must admit, so far I've driven it a little bit and it drives absolutely perfect. It's quiet, it's well refined, it's got all the actual right touches. If it was my own personal car, I think I would have probably preferred it to be a bit louder. But if you're using it as a daily, you've got kids in the car, family in the car, you don't want no drone, no loud Asbo thing, absolutely perfect. Stock exhaust system, stock mapping, stock intake. It's got nothing done to it. It's just aesthetic sort of looks. Getting my words mumbled up there as well. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll go for a little drive and just give you guys a feel of what it's about. All right, yeah, so here we are. Yeah, I mean, the thing is with these cars, because they were designed more so, not so track focused in the sense, they're very usable cars and they drive absolutely normal. I know from the outside you could tell it's an Impreza. It's got all the Asbo styling and stuff, which I believe these cars need. They need to have the big wings and they need the funky designs and on the bumpers, the skirts and stuff. And it is something that the Impreza does really need to have. I know you can buy them in like a Spec D variant and stuff with the earlier cars, but they're still a Scooby. Everybody can spot them from a mile off. But saying that, it's, you know, it drives absolutely perfect, perfectly usable car. The rear seats fold down. It's a 5-seater family car if you want to use it for that purpose, or it's a bloody weapon if you want to use it as a weekend toy and get them modified. Steering, again, everything is in the perfect spot. There's no, you know, there's some cars you sit in, steering wheel doesn't feel right. These is absolutely perfect. It's just where it needs to be, and the seating and everything is perfectly fine. I prefer the actual seats in the optional extra seats, which is the Recaro buckets, which this car doesn't have. But saying that, they're still not bad, to be fair. They're still, you know, bucket style sort of seats, better than the conventional normal seat with the adjustable headrest, but they're still, they get away with it, to be fair. They get away with it. And this actual car, like I mentioned, it's the Japanese import, so it's the more desirable, highly desirable variant, because the UK cars in this shape came with the 2.5 litre engine, which not all of them, and I think personally, I think it was blown out of proportion as well, but they did suffer from engine failure, one way or another, head gasket, ringland. But with this one having the EJ20, I can't remember the actual number on it, but the EJ20, it's a bulletproof engine unless you try and run too much power, which I know of a few people who have had the JDMs gone pop as well, and that's purely from poor mapping or fueling or just basically trying to run more power. So if you want to keep it, you know, anything mid 300 to 400 horsepower, these are still perfectly fine engines, and they're such a good car to tune. They've got everything. The basic features are all still there. It's got 4-wheel drive system, you know, ABS traction control, which is common in a lot of cars nowadays. But I've recently driven a few other cars that, you know, even though they're, you know, 2014, 15 cars, but they've not had ABS or traction. So a bit more driver focused. But these are actually, you know, like I mentioned, perfectly usable cars. And we've got a couple of other, well, I'll say a couple, we've got a few other videos uploaded of various other Subaru Imprezas, so please do check them out. We've got an S202, S402 Legacy, JDM Hawk, and so yeah, they're generally just a good car. So every time you get offered an Impreza, it's always like, okay, I'm not going to turn down this opportunity, especially if it's like a different model or a newer one or something that we haven't actually got on the channel, like this one, this actual shape we haven't. So yeah, like I said, it's 2010, and the UK ones came with a 2.5. This got a 2 litre. Perfectly wicked cars. They're a bit more modern on the inside. You know, a bit of a fake carbon fibre trim around the heater controls on the dashboard. No cruise control on the JDMs. The UK cars had cruise control. This hasn't. and no multifunction steering wheel. Again, that was a UK car, a feature that was on the UK cars and not on the Japanese imports, which is what this is. But most people that I know of who own these cars or have had these cars never actually bought them to use them for a regular commute. So, you know, features like cruise control and stuff weren't really high on the list of things. This is what these are all about. Perfect cars, seriously perfect cars. They are very capable cars. The 2-litre turbo engine on these as standard produces around 300 brake horsepower, and I believe this car is standard, is running standard power. It doesn't feel like it's remapped just from, you know, flooring it around a little bit, but I don't think they necessarily need that extra power if you're going to just use it for a daily. But as a track car or a weekend toy, it's always good to have that extra little bit of power. More power is never a bad thing, to be fair. Never. It's always a good thing, unless you're talking the likes of Integra Type R's and Lotus Elises, which again it's a common conversion people do on the Lotus Elises, stick a K20 in them for more power, and the weight actually they feel good with them in. But with this, it's good. It's a very capable car. This is what these cars are all about. As B-road bashers, they're absolutely perfect. As mentioned, the 4-wheel drive system on them is absolutely great. It's a symmetrical system unless you start playing about with the actual center differential, and you can push more power to the back wheels, and it's a very good feature. Very good feature, but just be prepared for the back end to step out on you if that is what you decide to do. They're just more of a modern sort of an Impreza, I suppose. They still carry all the characteristics and all that, the looks and stuff out of an Impreza. You can still see the bonnet scoop from here. It's not as big as it was on the previous models, but it's a mega car. And with this one, it's got all these gauges hanging around over here, just so you know where your temperatures and stuff are and your boost pressure. I love these things. These Scoobies are wicked cars. Even though it's a standard car, it's still got plenty of power to pull you back in your seat, and the handling is just grips and follows. But it feels quite a lot more refined than the predecessors. It's an odd, weird sort of feeling, because the old ones were a little bit raw, a little bit, especially if you've driven like the Spec C variant of the Imprezas, they were actually very raw. But these are quite a lot different, I should say. It's good though, it's not a bad thing. You know, the car's not drifting away anyway. It's quite literally, like I said, I've never driven a JDM variant of this shape Impreza, and the UK ones, to be fair, they feel very much the same, but the engine note on the JDM thing's different because you don't have that usual that normal burble that the Subaru flat fours are used to. These have equal length manifolds as opposed to unequal length, which is what creates that noise. But it affects the whole package, yes, but it's still got that pinpoint accurate steering, pinpoint accurate handling. They didn't get the actual reputation for no reason. It wasn't bought. Now, part of driving an Impreza is when you look in your rear view mirror, you can see that big wing, and it was the same thing with the Evos and the Imprezas. as soon as you look in your rear view mirror, you see that big wing and you know you're driving an Impreza or something that's a very, very capable car. There's a fair few of these UK spec ones, and I think the A-lines, they never had the big spoiler on the back, and I think from the outside they looked very naked. And I just don't think it suited the whole Impreza STI rally car image. They need a spoiler on the back, and I know to a lot of people it was just, what is the purpose of that spoiler? These cars are just great all-round cars. Subaru have really got everything right back in, you know, when they made these cars, and to this day, 20 years later, they still have a very big following, and you can really see why these people are still there, and they're still spending a lot of money on these older cars. They just give you way more enjoyment than the newer cars. The newer cars are a lot more refined. There's a lot more technology in them, but it depends on what you want your car for. If you want it to drive and to actually drive the car, then these are just perfect. Right then guys, I'm going to conclude the video here for today. I hope you've enjoyed the video of this JDM Scooby STI. It's such a great car, and as soon as it was offered for just a brief sort of while, I thought, yeah, why not, let's just get something done with it, because it's a pretty awesome car. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video guys. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Performance Lifestyles. We've got plenty of performance car reviews on there, and we've got plenty of other content to come. And check us out on Instagram as well, Performance_Lifestyles, and we're on Facebook as well, Performance Lifestyles. Check us out. There's plenty of videos, like I mentioned, uploaded on our channel, and there's plenty more content to come. And as previously mentioned, if you'd like your car featured on our channel, drop us an email at pflifestyle@hotmail.com, or drop us a message through Instagram or Facebook, and you know, we can work something out. If you've got something performance orientated or something a little bit special, then yeah, you know, we'll be more than happy to accommodate, and we can work something out. So drop us an email and yeah, get your car featured. Like I said, we're only fairly new to this thing, so, and we're still growing, so give us an opportunity to video different cars and get your car out there. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video, like I said guys, and what we will do is we'll catch you on the next one.